Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I am here with Danny and Shaun. I do have the link to their YouTube channel in the description box below. We're going to talk about today's episode, the season finale of Mandalorian, as well as the overall season, where it's going to go. Is it going to connect to Obi-Wan? Well, if you ask Danny, he says, fuck yeah. But just for the record, it all connects in the world of Star Wars. I'm just saying. I wouldn't be surprised if certain characters cross over. I just don't think you're going to see that character show up because the Obi-Wan thing's going to take. But anyway, that's a whole different podcast. So right before we went on air, Shaun, you were talking about the Thor Ragnarok humor, and Taika Waititi directed this episode. What did you guys think about the opening with the two stormtroopers? Because that was something Taika. That's pure Taika Waititi right there.
I thought it was very funny. It was especially funny how they kept missing that damn target. It was only like 2 feet away. I was like, well, what the hell's wrong with they bastards? And then it pissed me off when they kept hitting that baby.
Oh, that pissed me off a lot. I can't believe Disney let them do that.
Yeah.
That's fucking child abuse right there on fucking Disney.
I was a little shocked with that.
Especially the second one. Like the other one just kept kind of like hitting it.
Yeah.
Like the second one, like straight fucking Mike Tyson did.
Yeah, when he bit him, man, he coming in.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was shocked on that.
That was really cool though. I mean, it was a throwback to how the troopers can't hit shit, you know, and you know, some people might have an issue with the humor, but I mean that's what Taika Waititi adds. You know, he brings not only really good visuals, but a lot of humor. And
it was just enough. It wasn't too much. It wasn't too. He didn't.
That was it. That was all the humor we got the entire episode. It was a 45-minute episode.
Dark, man.
Yeah, it was. That shit was dark as fuck.
Yeah, it was.
You know, especially the Darksaber at the end. Oh,
no, that was such a
I wish I had my camera filming me when I watched it. Because I was sitting there and I went, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Then it went off. I was like,
I knew he had a lightsaber, but I wasn't expecting to see that.
When I saw the him cutting the door open, you know, like it just took me back to the prequels.
Yeah,
cutting through the blast doors and stuff, and I was like, "Oh man, he's got a lightsaber." And I saw the Darksaber. I was like, "Oh shit!" My only complaint is the CGI, you know, on the Darksaber.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, it was the TV version.
The Darksaber always looked a little odd. Like whether it was in like comics or the animated shows, the Darksaber in general always looked a little odd.
It's shaped like an actual blade versus the lightsaber, which kind of has more roundness to it.
Right.
Yeah, edge to it.
Yeah, it was definitely more. It's definitely more of a sword than a saber.
Yeah.
We got a super chat right off the bat, which surprised the fuck out of me. John Watson comes in. It was funny, and when the Darksaber at the end, it was funny, and when the Darksaber at the end, I don't know, but yes, it was funny in the beginning, and then it was Darksaber at the end. Yes, that was for sure. John.
I think I have a theory on how he got the Darksaber.
Go ahead, shoot, because I honestly can't think of a theory other than him kill Bo-Katan somehow.
I think when they did the purge of the Mandalorians. That saying to the victor goes to spoils. They killed the lady that Sabine gave it to, and because he was over all of the different missions they had to try to exterminate the Mandalorians.
The only thing I can think of is I think you're right. I think when they did the purge, either she died in the purge, which that means if you go by that, then that means all of Sabine's family is dead too. Yeah, that means House Wren is dead too. We know that House Vizsla is still alive because the one Mandalorian that fought with the Mando in episode 3, his last name was Vizsla, so his house continues, and he escaped that fight too.
They could escape. They don't necessarily mean they're dead. They could escape because she thought they were dead the first time in Rebels.
Yeah, that's true. But then so. I don't know, man. Either she died and then they just came in and he took the saber, or she just flee. Like she could have just fled and just left the fucking there because they were in a panic.
Oh man, I don't know if she would have left something like that though. You know?
Yeah.
I think she died and he took it. kind of the same way how Grievous
dude, I would be,
wrestle.
I would be so pissed if they killed off that character off screen like that, though.
I agree. That would be a chicken shit way.
Yeah, I mean they killed her sister in the Clone Wars. Like Darth Maul did it with the Darksaber. Like straight up killed Duchess Satine in front of Obi-Wan with the Darksaber. And now Sabine gave her sister, Duchess' sister, Bo-Katan, the Darksaber to lead Mandalore. And if they just kill that character off screen, I don't think Dave Filoni would do that because that's Dave Filoni's character, And
he created the Darksaber.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Dave Filoni did. Yeah. That's all his lore that he created within the Clone Wars and Rebels. John Watson throws another super chat. He says, "I think she did."
Well,
that's the only thing that makes sense, unless Moff Gideon is has some kind of ties, and he's some kind of black sheep Mandalorian or something we don't know about that.
Well, what does he? Is he force sensitive?
I don't think he's force sensitive.
I haven't seen him exhibit any force sensitive, but he seems really smart. Like he seems almost like Thrawn level. Like maybe not.
I think he's a protege of Thrawn's.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if he's a protege of Thrawn because at that point Thrawn would already be in the unknown regions with Ezra.
No, I'm saying before Thrawn, just like the Sith have these dark princes that they be training secretly or whatever. Who's to say that he wasn't secretly Thrawn's protege or student of something? And
I mean, it could be possible, but within the timeline, they never mention him ever having. He does have a protege, but it's Eli Vanto, which they never mentioned. He's also in the unknown regions too. Darkside Doshi comes in with super chat. He's like, disappointing episode. They wrote, LOL, just joking, loved it. My favorite. Number one favorite.
Yeah, the way that they tied in, I mean, they really went for the gold in this last episode, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because we had been talking, like before episode 7, they've got to raise the stakes, man. They've got to do something, and they like tied into the Jedi. I didn't even think they were going to really go into the Jedi. But I mean, season 2, man, I see them seeking out Jedi.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm really curious how that Sage becomes so knowledgeable. She knows everything. I'm very interested in her character now.
For a while there, I thought she was Bo-Katan, but I don't think she is Bo-Katan because she would have revealed that by now.
I know she's held with them damn blacksmith tools, boy. She's
got to be some important house from Mandalore, but so the reason why I'm stuck on Bo-Katan still being in the show is because Bo-Katan was voiced by Katie Sackhoff in the Clone Wars and in Rebels. Katie Sackhoff right now is the right age to play Bo-Katan in the show live action.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So, and Dave Filoni likes bringing in those characters. That's why Jon Favreau voiced that other Mandalorian in episode 3, because that was a Mandalorian from the Vizsla household, which, he played pre-Vizsla in Clone Wars. So Dave Filoni has a way to bring everything in. Now, the Mandalorian, I forgot what did they say his name was? Ben Jarrett?
Yeah, I never called his name.
I watched the episode twice, and it sounded like Ben, but it's not Ben. It's like Ben, with a V. But he clearly heard of Gideon. Like he's like, no, this dude did some shady ass shit.
Yeah. And how Gideon has all that knowledge, man. I mean, he was just like dropping.
He was like name dropping like straight knowledge. That's why I automatically, went to Thrawn, because Thrawn is more strategic. I don't think Gideon is that strategic, because otherwise he would never fell for that TIE fighter thing.
Sure.
But he knew everybody in that fucking room. And the fact that it was just real subtle, but they tell everybody that Cara Dune was from Alderaan.
Yep.
It was that was cool. That was something that was quickly passed over, but that was awesome.
How would you feel if Cara Dune got her own standalone series?
Dude, I loved her in this episode.
So did I.
There was 2 standout moments in this, and hers was because she was always known. Gina Carano was always known for not being a great actress, but she could do action. But when she had Mando up against the thing, and she's like, "I'm not leaving you."
Yeah,
that was a good acting moment from her, So I guess she's already been confirmed for season 2. But if this like gets popular, I would love to see, a spinoff of her, or maybe something like in a prequel when she was a shock trooper during like Return of the Jedi era.
It seems like a little love interest is going on there.
Possibly. I don't know about that. I mean, Mando could have had love interest with that woman that wanted to
from episode 4.
Yeah, so I don't know where his mind is.
But when she first was introduced, they seemed they were kind of like
I think they just have a mutual respect for one another.
Yeah.
Both soldiers, both kind of went through the same shit. Darkside Dosha came in with super chat. Will we get Obi-Wan series before season 2 of Mando? I don't think so, because like we were talking about this a little bit before we went live. They're already shooting Mandalorian season 2. Obi-Wan hasn't started shooting yet. They're not going to start shooting Obi-Wan until 2020, so probably like February or March. I don't see how they could get all that done and release it in 2020. And they already announced that Mandalorian season 2 is going to take place in fall, so probably October, November.
I want them to take their time with Obi-Wan Kenobi, man.
They got to get Obi-Wan Kenobi right. That's the one series they have to get right.
We're too invested in that character.
Yeah, because then if they don't do it right, we're just gonna run into the sequel trilogy problems all over again.
Yep.
The reason why they can experiment with the Mandalorian show is because we're not attached to any of these characters.
Right.
We don't know any of these characters. They can do whatever the fuck they want with these characters. Obi-Wan, like if he's like, I seen the funny meme. You guys know I like Last Jedi, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a meme today where it said, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi," and he's like, "No," and it said, "Written and directed by Rian Johnson." Right? Well, like I thought that was hilarious, and I love Last Jedi, but they have to get that character right, because if it's taking place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, he's going through some deep shit. He just seen all of his friends get murdered. His brother went to the dark side. He thinks he killed his brother. So there's a lot of shit going on. I don't want him like, shooting, or playing cards down at Mos Eisley or something,
Well, it's gotta slide into episode 4, seamlessly. They've got to be able to make that transition from, this time between episode 3 and episode 4. And if they jack with the core of the character too much, it's just not going to fit.
Not only that, but they're also kind of like squeezed. Okay, so the show's taking place right in the middle of Solo.
Right.
Then Rebels takes place 10 years after this show, and Rogue One takes place 10 years after this show. So they can't contradict anything they did in Rebels or Rogue One. And there is a possibility he could run into like Han or something, Crimson Dawn. Not known, because Darth Maul can't show up. It's impossible, because that would completely contradict everything that was done in Rebels.
That would contradict everything that was done in episode 1 as well.
Yeah.
I just watched that again last night, and Obi-Wan was legitimately surprised when he saw Darth Maul.
Yeah. So I'm curious. That's why I always stay with I want to see the Inquisitors. Because the Inquisitors haven't been on live stream yet. I think the Inquisitors are fantastic characters. Like they're in the comic books, they're in Rebels, they're in the video games. I would love to see that in live action. And then that would be how Obi-Wan finds out that Anakin is still alive as Vader. And bring back fucking what's his name? I forgot his damn name. To play Uncle Owen. Forgot the dude's name. He's a pretty big actor now. Back then he wasn't.
The one that did him in the prequel, right?
Yeah. Forgot his fucking name, dude. But he's a fantastic actor, and he said he wants to come back.
Hey, man, I bring as much familiarity to Obi-Wan as you can. I mean, even if you want to have like a cameo of Darth Vader, I don't want a whole lot, but
yeah. I'd say bring Vader in for like they did with Rogue One. At the very end, like season finale, bring in Vader if they want to do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That would be cool.
Buna said Black Saber is actually Darksaber. The same thing Darth Maul had in the cartoon. That's the exact same thing. Because he took the Darksaber. I believe he took it from Pre Vizsla. He killed Pre Vizsla, took the Darksaber, and then he ran Mandalore for a while, and then he killed Duchess Satine in front of Obi-Wan with the Darksaber. So that's what it is. Yeah. That's why it was such like a oh my god moment, because like fuck, like do you know the significance of that fucking blade?
Yeah, man.
That had more of an impact on me than Luke's lightsaber showing up in Force Awakens for some weird reason.
Yeah, well, Luke's lightsaber didn't really have that much of an impact on me, other than that's a cool moment, you know. Yeah. But because I mean, it was kind of expected. This was not expected.
No. Well, in Force Awakens, it was like Luke's lightsaber showed up in a box in Maz Kanata's castle. It was like, okay, last time I saw this, it was falling off the thing. There was a hand attached to it. Right. How did it end up in the garbage chute? Then on multiple different planets in space, whereas it just left you with weird questions that the entire trilogy's over with now, and they still didn't even answer how Maz Kanata got it. But with the Darksaber showing up, you're like, oh, shit just went down because of the Mandalorians and how they respect their culture and stuff. And this dude who's in the Empire has the fucking Darksaber, the one thing that the Mandalorians treasure.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
and that's the biggest difference. And I've spoke about this on Twitter a lot lately, is that you can tell that there's a different creative team and force behind the Mandalorian and the sequel trilogy. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they're trying to do more of a nod to OG Star Wars, I think.
Yeah.
So than JJ and Ryan were, which I mean, it's okay. I mean, like I said,
I think JJ and Ryan have bigger egos, and Filoni and Favreau kind of more collaborative.
The thing is, JJ came in and he's like, JJ might be a Star Wars fan. I don't know the man personally. I heard he's a big Star Wars fan. But the problem is he's not watching Clone Wars. He's not watching Rebels. He's not reading books. He just likes the movies. So he went into this going, well, how can I reboot this slightly for a new generation? Oh, let's just do A New Hope again with new characters. Then Rian Johnson came in. He's like, well, I want to give a deeper movie where people actually think and that anybody can be a Jedi and whatnot. And he went and did his own movie. So they just have different philosophies on how they make their movies. But Kathleen Kennedy should have had they used to teach this in school where you put you make a topic and then you start webbing off how everything like that's how you game plan shit, right? They didn't do that with the trilogies. Whereas Jon Favreau came out and said, I used to write fan fiction ever since I was a kid, And
I could totally believe that.
So he probably had some scripts already written, gave it to Dave Filoni. He's like, okay, this is great. Let's see. We can add this stuff in to make it connect with the lore. And that's why we got what we got. Because
you can tell that Favreau and Filoni are, I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but they seem like they're more invested than say JJ or Ryan.
Yeah.
Were like their level of fandom seems different.
Yeah, it's almost like I look at JJ and Ryan, and even I'll put Kathleen Kennedy. I do think Kathleen Kennedy's a fan of Star Wars. I don't think she's the most knowledgeable, but I think she's a fan. You don't do something like this unless you're somewhat a fan. You gotta like Star Wars.
I don't know, man. It just depends on the amount of dollars behind it.
I'm okay. I'm just gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, but I think they're like, sort of like your casual, like they watch the movies, they understand the movies. And I think Favreau and Filoni are the ones that are like, oh man, did you see what happened in that issue and what happened in that, legend? Because Dave Filoni has no problem going through cherry picking Thrawn and Rook and all these characters from Legends, whereas JJ and Ryan grabbed a few things from Legends. I'll give him that credit. But JJ played it really safe in both Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker, and Kathleen Kennedy just came out and said, I have no source material, so I'm never going to let her live that down, ever.
I know, man, and nobody should, because there is probably as much source material for that as some comic books.
Yeah, that's exactly what, I'll get to the super chat in a second, let me just finish this thought, but that's exactly what Kevin Feige does.
Yeah.
Right? He looks at it, he's like, okay, we want to make the next Avengers movie Age of Ultron, but we haven't introduced Hank Pym yet. But it would make a lot of sense if Tony Stark did it because of what he suffered in, so he knows how to connect it. He's cherry picking, but connecting it. Whereas you look at the sequel trilogy, and it's just, dude, it's like a jigsaw puzzle that all the pieces don't fit, but you're pounding it in there to make it fit. Yeah. And I watched Rise of Skywalker 4 times. And I took my brother. Well, I went and saw it 3 times opening weekend because I already bought the tickets. And then I took my brother and my nephew on Christmas Day to go see it. And I have never been on such a roller coaster with a movie in my entire life. It's like I'll go to the bathroom and take a piss, and I'll be like, you know what, I like that movie. Then I'll go get something to drink. I'll be like, you know what, that movie just fucking sucks. It's like different parts of the day I feel different about that fucking movie. But it is clear that they had no plan for that fucking movie.
No, not at all.
All right, let me get to this super chat because ROI put in a pretty big number. Darksaber belonged to the first Mandalorian Jedi 1,000 years ago. It's important to the Mandalorian culture. Hopefully, season 2 will explain how Gideon got it. Yeah, that's pretty much what we were just talking about a few seconds ago. Also, guys, if you guys are coming in, please be sure to hit that like button because that's important. Yeah, so that's really, really important on how he got that damn thing.
I just want to say really quick, though, I know there's a lot of division among Star Wars fans, but I think it's really important for us to remember that we have to, in the sense of Star Wars, we have to treat Disney kind of like a child. We need to praise them when they get stuff right, like The Mandalorian, as well as make our voices heard when we don't like what they're doing as far as the sequel trilogy goes. But if you really like what they're doing with The Mandalorian, make sure you let them know. Praise, because all they've gotten from us over the past so many years was just a lot of hate.
Yeah, that's true.
Amen to that.
But the thing is, what's the word I'm looking for? I think everybody's on the same page with The Mandalorian. I have not seen anything negative except for maybe 2 episodes that we all kind of agree were kind of filler. Everything else
some haters really out there, to be honest. Like in just people who are really, really looking at things and wanting to tear things apart.
Oh,
but I mean, they're gonna find things. If they really looked at like the original trilogy, they would probably find things there too if they were really looking.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything negative about that.
I heard like a couple of things, but I mean, they were like very, very minor.
Well, yeah, other than this, like Robert said, episode 5 and 6 was a little kind of off topic.
Yeah,
not really needed. That's the only thing I've seen. I mean, heard that you can consider possibly being negative, but overall, man, it's a slam dunk to me.
Now, the thing is, don't forget, there was a mystery reveal at the end of episode 5 that we still have not seen who that person is yet.
I think that was Moff Gideon.
Then why would they just show the feet?
See, a lot of people are saying that the feet was important because it was the same boots that Luke Skywalker had in Jedi.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that because I know people were thinking it could be. A lot of people said Boba Fett, which I'm completely against. If they tell it right, that's fine. Just he wouldn't have his armor right now anyway. Some people said it could be what's his name? The dude with the cowboy hat. He's bounty hunter.
The guy from the Old Republic.
No, he's not from the Old Republic. He's in the Clone Wars. He's the bounty hunter. Oh my god, I can't believe I gotta turn to my Star Wars card right now.
It's all right, man. I'm drawing a blank too, so don't worry about it.
He's got the damn cowboy hat on.
The guy that always helps Ezra.
No. That's he's not a cowboy, man. That's Yondu.
I can't think.
Cad Bane, thank you.
Cad Bane.
A lot of people are saying Cad Bane. That would be fucking dope as fuck.
Yeah,
but I just don't think it's Moff Gideon, only because why would we get a reveal of his legs looking at her on the ground, and then 2 episodes later he just comes out full blown, right? Usually if they do a reveal like that, they start back with the legs again and then go up to kind of reveal it. They just don't do a leg shot and then 3 episodes later do a full body shot.
I mean, it could be. I mean, they could have alluded to Luke. I mean, because even if it's not Luke and say it's another type of Jedi, it would make sense that maybe they had gotten some sort of feeling through the Force about this baby Yoda, and maybe they are investigating that as well.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up because at this time period, Luke is traveling around the galaxy looking for Jedi artifacts, Sith temples, and all that stuff. So if the baby Yoda thing, maybe he heard something and he went looking for it. It could also be Lor Santeca. Lor Santeca is the old guy from Force Awakens who goes, this will begin to make things right. Because him and Luke were both traveling together looking for these artifacts. So, dude, it could be Luke. How badass would that be if Luke is kind of on his trail, because he wants to get to the bottom of this? And wouldn't that be awesome? We find out that Baby Yoda was his student at one point.
Yep.
That would be pretty sweet, man. That would be the right amount of fan service.
Because they have to have an end game. The Baby Yoda can't be with Mando for the rest of his life. The Baby Yoda's either got to die at some point, either go back to his people, which I don't think they want to reveal the species. I think that's always going to be a mystery. Or he runs into Luke and Luke takes over the kid and trains the kid.
Yeah, and they could probably do that within maybe like 5-minute reveal, of Luke Skywalker, so that they wouldn't have to de-age Mark Hamill for that long, and Disney has the ability to do that.
Yeah, they did it. They did Rise of Skywalker. I thought Luke looked pretty good. I think Leia looks a little weird, but
yeah, they did.
A question I have is, how does Moff Gideon know what Baby Yoda can do?
Well,
he's with the Empire. The Empire knows everything about the Jedi.
Yeah, and the Empire wants him. So, and Baby Yoda is not really trying to keep it a secret, when he's like force choking people,
and don't forget the Empire during the events of Rebels, the Empire was actively hunting force sensitive children to turn them into Inquisitors. I know this takes place after Return of the Jedi, not before New Hope, but Gideon would clearly be around before New Hope, so he would have heard the rumors about force sensitive children, and maybe they want to use him as they want to use that force ability to weaponize it somehow.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. And Yoda was already in the movies, by this point. He's already done his stuff in the Clone Wars and in the like 4, 5, and 6. So
yeah,
his legend is out there. So you see like a little guy that looks like Yoda, or a littler guy that looks like Yoda, you makes sense the Empire would want to get their hands on that.
Yeah.
And I would rather them not actually tell us what the species is. I would rather just keep that a mystery.
Yeah, I think they will, because Dave Filoni and George Lucas are really, really good friends. Mm-hmm. And George Lucas has always wanted to keep that a secret. And I don't see Dave Filoni revealing anything unless it comes directly from George Lucas. Like if George Lucas says, sure, do it.
10 or 11, I think it may come out.
I hope it doesn't, though. That's something we don't need. We need mystery in Star Wars, though. We don't need everything explained.
We've gone 40 years without knowing, so why tell us now?
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Do you want George Lucas to die? We don't know what's going to go on. Do you want that to happen?
I don't. Personally,
it'll be in his will.
Yeah, it could be, but I mean, personally, I could live the rest of my life without knowing what species Baby or Yoda is, and I would be perfectly happy.
Yeah, me too. It's something I don't ever need to know.
Well, thinking of what you said last time, I think we talked about this. The IG unit he sure saved today.
Oh yeah,
I told you guys it was going to happen. Yep. I told everybody.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, all right, cool.
And then he had the Terminator 2 moment at the end.
Exactly. That's just what I was thinking. He walked through that lava and sacrificed himself. That was remnants of the Terminator.
I got to give the acting in this show credit. Fucking Mandalorian had a helmet on.
Yeah.
The robot was just a fucking CGI robot. Yet the scene where he's like, you don't have to be sad. He's like, I'm not sad. He's like, Yes, you are. Dude, that got to me, and you can't even see the facial expressions on these two.
I know.
Like, that's fucking emotional shit right there. Especially coming from a guy from the first episodes, like no droids, to him not wanting to see this droid do that.
You could hear it in his voice, the inflection of his voice. You could tell that he was kind of getting upset that IG was going to sacrifice himself. So I thought that was real cool too.
And that's really the only type of acting that the guy who's playing Mandalorian can do at this moment. You know, I'll cover it up. It's got to be inflections in his voice. And I think he's doing a really good job at that.
He is.
I'm hoping next season because I don't know if you guys know this, but this season he hasn't been in the suit all season. The only time he was in the suit this season was when they took his mask off for that one shot. But it's been two stuntmen doing everything this season. He's just been doing the voiceover in the box. So next year, I hope he's in it more because I want to see him sort of like because the Mandalorians and Clone Wars and Rebels take their helmet off all the time.
Yeah,
but I think the creed he's in has that role.
I think the Fallon's got a different creed. I think the true Mandalorians that's born on Mandalore, I think they can kind of, like you say, take the helmets off. I think with a different creed.
Yeah, from what
I think that makes sense.
Yeah, because if I'm reading what the armor chick said, she said, "Well, you found him, so now you're a two squad creed." So it makes it sound like he can make up his own creed rules, like the creed that he was part of is like, "No, don't take your helmet off," you know, because
and he finally got his signet too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
One of the things is I'm using every time they mention Creed and Apollo Creed is in this movie.
Dude, you're not the only one. You are not. And then they got the fucking Creed music playing in the back. Dude, I'm telling you, man, they got to do something with the music. Okay, the music is not horrible, but when Baby Yoda did that fire thing with the Force, they should have played the fucking Force theme.
Yeah,
it was funny too. When Apollo Creed said, "Do the hand."
Yeah,
that was funny.
And Baby Yoda just waves at him, you know. The music is an issue for me. I mean, some of it is good, but like some of the music in this episode just seemed kind of out of place.
Yeah. So, some of the music is, dude. That scene when IG showed up and just started capping everybody, and then Cara Dune went out, and then Mandalorian just busted through the door, started like capping fucking bitches like that. Dude, that music was fantastic. But then there's certain scenes where it's like, why are you playing that type of like? Why are you playing a Western music when they're fucking using the Force, man? You got a Force theme. You own the rights to it. Like they played in the fucking audio books. You guys can play it on the screen.
Right, I know. I mean, this was all done before, before they wrapped on episode 9. So maybe they were doing this to keep it separate, I
think they had a limited budget too. You can only do so much.
Again,
yeah, but they
audio book, they play the music. They can do it on a fucking show.
Yeah, I mean, they've already got the rights, so I mean, they don't have. I think they would have actually spent more money writing this new music than actually going back to reusing some of the John Williams stuff.
Because dude, I'm telling you right now, they got the guy who did the music for Black Panther to do the score for this. Okay, that dude won an Oscar. So I'm telling you right now, they're paying him a pretty good penny. Where they could have just got Kevin Kiner, who did the Rebel score, which was amazing because they played all the traditional John Williams music and added some stuff into it, and probably could have got that guy for like 3/3, or I'm shitty with fractions, but like 1/4 of what they're paying the guy for Black Panther.
Yeah,
probably.
What'd you think about when Mando got his pack?
Oh, that was awesome scene.
I was expecting that to happen at some point.
He learned mighty fast. But she said he had to practice with it, but he was like.
But they mentioned he had training though. They mentioned that.
It was cool too how the scene where the Mandalorian flew off with him with the same scene when he flew off with Baby Yoda. You said they did the same scenes on that during the war when the Mandalorian saved him.
Oh yeah, back in the Clone Wars. Yeah.
In the flashback, he flew off with Mando.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the you saying that he learned fast with that jetpack, they asked him like 15 minutes before that scene. He's like, "Did you train with so and so when you first came in. He's like,
Yes,
I did
Flying Phoenix or something. You said.
Yeah, something. But yeah, so he did have training. He just wasn't fully experienced, and you could tell too. That's why he didn't try flying. All he did was just fly up, grappled it, and just hung on for dear life. And like he wasn't pulling an Iron Man, he was just fucking holding on like Spider-Man.
Yeah, he did.
Baby Yoda is the shiznick. I haven't heard shiznick in forever. That comes from Deron Hatcher. Sends in the chat. Drayon. Hey, dude, I can't even speak English, man, let alone some weird names. I can barely say Robert.
I think Disney was legitimately caught off guard about, regarding how popular Baby Yoda would be, because they're not going to get the Baby Yoda merch until spring. They killed it this Christmas.
Yep. They could have.
Dude, everybody, I would have bought
knockoffs is killing. I see it all on Amazon.
Oh, dude, there's all kinds of fucking Baby Yoda knockoff shit, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, Jesus. Hot Topic is selling knockoff shit, Baby Yoda.
Really?
Yeah, I was at the mall the other day. They got a fucking Baby Yoda shirt. It's not from Disney or Lucasfilm. It looks like someone just pressed the print on there, and they're selling it for $25.
Jeez,
man. Where's Disney? I mean, where's all their litigators at, man? I mean, you think they'd be all over this?
Yeah, I'm like, Jesus. Unless, because the picture of Baby Yoda is the concept art that was released, unless it's free use to use that concept art. But I still don't know how they would get away with doing that. But
maybe if you make something, you give it away or something.
They're taking a chance. It is taking a chance that Disney's not going to go after them.
Yeah, because I'm just make as much money selling stuff as they would lose if Disney sued them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the official shit to come out, because when the official shit comes out, dude, I'm buying a pop, a plush, a shirt, socks, fucking underwear, all kinds of fucking Baby Yoda shit.
Everything behind you is gonna be like Baby Yoda, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. right where Wonder Woman is back there, that's gonna be Baby Yoda.
Yep.
He's gonna be in his little pod, just.
Baby Wonder Woman's gonna be in mothballs. Yeah.
Shit, there was something I was gonna bring up, and I can't remember what the fuck it was. About you mentioned how Disney was caught off guard with the marketing or the merchandise of Baby Yoda. I think they were just caught off guard with the success of Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
I think Kathleen Kennedy's like, yeah, you guys go do your thing. That shit ain't gonna work. And then it comes out and it's more popular than the sequel trilogy, and they're like, fuck. Sort of like Warner Brothers with Joker. Warner Brothers did that with Joker. Like, here's $55 million. You guys go make your little art piece Joker movie, and it crosses $1 billion. They're like, well, fuck us,
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But regarding Disney, though, I mean, Disney, man. See, I think Disney can absolutely nail one of these saga films in the future 100% with the fandom behind them. I think there was just a big learning curve that a lot of fans didn't want to accept. So if they would have started this whole thing on Netflix like they did with the Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, stuff like that, we may be having a different conversation, man. I really wish they would have done that.
Yeah.
Because I really, really want to like the sequel trilogies more than I do, and it just, now that we're at the end of the sequel trilogy, everything is just so discombobbled, man. It is. Now for fun, they seem like standalones on their own. If you look at them just by themselves as pure entertainment, then yeah, they're fun. But playing together and expanding Star Wars, it didn't really make sense to me.
And this is coming from a guy who likes partial of the sequel trilogies. Okay, I like partial. I still don't know how I fully feel about Rise of Skywalker. I don't think I'm ever going to fully feel about that movie, but it feels like legit fan fiction.
Yes,
it doesn't feel like something George Lucas would do. Because George Lucas always has George Lucas always has a meaning for everything. Everything means something. Everything rhymes or something. And this, George Lucas came out and said Palpatine was dead. He literally said Palpatine is dead. Like Ian McDiarmid said, but is there any way? He's like, no, he's dead. Like I was at Star Wars Celebration when George Lucas and Ian McDiarmid confirmed he is dead. that he's not coming back.
That was one of the most jarring things about Rise of Skywalker is just Palpatine.
Because JJ don't have balls.
Yeah, and really, I mean, if you take this all 9 episodes and you throw them out there and say, okay, this is what this is. I mean, really, what's the point of the entire saga? Because yeah, Rey took the name Skywalker at the end, but she's technically a Palpatine. So in the end, Palpatine wins.
Dude, to be honest with you, regardless if you hate The Last Jedi or not, that's not important right now. It exists. Whether you like it or not, it exists.
Yes.
For JJ to go, well, you killed Snoke, so let me bring back the Emperor. Just continue what they were doing and just make fucking Kylo the supreme leader.
Yep.
Right? Jason Solo didn't have a fucking Emperor clone when he became like the leader of the Sith and everything. When Jason went to the dark side, there wasn't like a Grand Emperor behind him. Just let Kylo Ren be the supreme leader. Let Rey continue to be the girl from nowhere. You really fuck it up by bringing Palpatine back and saying she's a Palpatine. Yeah. That's jarring. I don't care. It's still jarring.
And the thing is,
I think they did that to try and whet the appetite of fans, and kind of backfired. I mean, fans that's just saying that this thing totally sucks. Oh. Okay, let me bring back somebody that's.
You think they're trying to give fan service by?
Yeah, I don't think they're bringing anybody back that way. I think if anything, you're adding more to the people that hate shit pool. Like I'm almost about to cross that line, to be honest with you, in some spots in that movie. Like I was telling a couple people, like I see the idea behind it, like, oh, this is a girl from bad and she takes the guy who's bad and she wants to be better, and like I can figure out all the hidden meanings behind it, but that's just me looking for that. That is that what they're trying to tell me, or is that me just trying to come up with that shit to try to justify what they're doing?
I don't know, man. It's just a hot mess. I mean, Kylo is the legitimate heir to the Skywalker legacy, and so he force heals Rey, and then they kiss, and then he dies. So, even though she takes a Skywalker name, this is not the end of the Skywalker saga. This is, you could call this the Palpatine saga now.
Yeah.
And that's just, I mean, they could have legitimately, like you're saying, Kylo didn't need anybody behind him. The fact that he is the heir to Anakin Skywalker is enough, to believe that, all right, Skywalkers have some dark stuff in them. He could have completely gone dark and just done the First Order on his own, because he wanted to be like his grandfather.
Yeah.
So he didn't need Snoke, man, and he definitely did not need the Emperor.
If anything, I'll get to the super chat 1 second. If anything, we seen at that end of Last Jedi that Hux was really tired of Kylo's shit.
Yep.
Right? They could have had Kylo be the supreme leader. He then can take an apprentice or bring in the Knights of Ren to just kind of guard him. And he could take over like Snoke's spot, because I liked how Rian Johnson's like, look, Snoke don't matter, man. Look, we want to make Kylo the big bad. Like Snoke was just a fake ass emperor. We all knew that from Force Awakens.
Right. Like that's what I think I thought they were going to go with.
Yeah. He's just a proxy. And Rian Johnson's like, look, man, we're tired of this shit. Let's go this way. And then JJ goes right back to the fucking beginning again. You could have just had Kylo be the big bad, had the Knights of Ren guard him, and then have Hux try to like take the First Order out from underneath him. And then you could still have Rey and Leia try to redeem Kylo. And then Kylo just die,
Or they could have, like I've said before, man, they could have just switched. They could have swapped Rey and Kylo. Rey could have gone to the dark side. Rey could have, and Kylo could have gone to the light and redeemed himself. Man, that
would have hurt. Like what Robert said, that would have hurt their merchandise sales, because because are empowered because Rey is good. So they weren't going to switch her to the dark side.
That's when you get to the SJW issues into it. Then.
I would actually buy Rey merchandise if they.
Oh my lord!
But only because I think the idea of a dark Rey like completely turning would have been a badass idea.
And they were handing around to that in the movies.
Yeah,
they were like, if you watch Force Awakens and even Luke's like, you went straight to the dark.
Yep.
She had dark tendencies. Was it D-Ron?
I guess Drayon.
Drayon. I think Star Wars needs to start from scratch.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Any chance that they get to
if you think they got some irritated, pissed off fans now,
right,
you come in here and just say everything is done.
yep.
Blow it up, shit.
If they reboot Star Wars from the very beginning and try to tell the story over again in their way,
you piss everybody off.
They probably storm George Lucas' house, Bob Barker's house, everybody's house.
George Lucas just be like, "Man, I didn't have anything to do with this."
No, their reboot is gonna come in with the Knights of the Old Republic. Like they're gonna go to a different time period, and that's basically gonna be their reboot, their fresh start, where like new characters, new environments, everything.
So many years have passed since Star Wars started. We don't need to directly tie this into any of the OG characters, or even of the characters in the prequels.
Yeah,
we can just go. I mean, there's lots of planets that we haven't visited yet. We can tell these stories.
They're racing with Father Time, but if they wait another 10 years like they did between Revenge of the Sith and The Force Awakens, then maybe they can do something better. But 10 years is a long time for George Lucas. I mean,
George Lucas ain't coming back. Disney doesn't.
Even as a consultant, that's still because he's in his 70s now.
Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons why he decided to sell it, because not only because the backlash he got from the prequels, but I mean he said this would take me another 10 years to out a trilogy.
I don't want to wait 10 years. I'll be 60, man. Hell no.
Well, right now the next movie is scheduled for 2022. Whether they keep that release date or not, I don't know.
I can deal with that.
But Kathleen Kennedy's contract ends in 2021. Yeah. So I really see it's really going to depend on what this box office does. I think she's gone either way. But now they're saying this movie is on track to beat Last Jedi's box office.
I told you on the last.
I don't think so.
It's going to be $1 billion.
It's going to be $1 billion, but I think it's going to finish third. Because Force Awakens did more than Last Jedi.
Almost doubled.
Yeah, and so Last Jedi, this might meet Last Jedi, but I don't think it's going to exceed Last Jedi. And the thing is, this movie in all rights should be doing Endgame numbers.
Should, yeah. Oh, speaking of Endgame, man. So I told you I went and saw this on Christmas, right? So I kind of just sat back and kind of just took in shit. Man, they copied from Endgame scene for scene at the end of this movie. like scene for scene. Let me break it down for you, right? So in Endgame, Thanos and the army is coming at Captain America, and then you hear to your left, right? And then all the portals open. And then in this movie, Lando's like, there's a whole lot more of us, a whole lot. And then they go up and there's all the ships, right? So same scene. Then in Endgame, Thanos goes, I am inevitable. Palpatine says, I am all the Sith. Iron Man says, I am Iron Man. Rey goes, I am all the Jedi. They literally rip off each other. Or no, not each other. Star Wars rips off Endgame.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all Disney, man, so they're going to recycle their own stuff. I mean, you have to expect that.
If I was Kevin Feige, I would have walked in Lucasfilm and went, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I would have too.
You can't even come up with your own ending?
Yeah, he might have okayed it.
He might have, or they may have already talked to Kevin Feige before this even came out. I'm sure they did. That might be why all the rumors got started of Kevin Feige going out and doing, Star Wars stuff. Because maybe Kevin was like, look, if this is where you're at, having to cherry pick from the MCU, let me come on over here and tell you how to tell a proper story.
Yep. I don't doubt it.
I had a friend of mine who saw it during the holiday season too, or holiday break. He came up to me today and he's like, nothing in that movie makes sense. I'm like, yeah, I know. I still how the fuck is he shooting force lightning at Rey and is bouncing back? Why doesn't he just stop shooting the force lightning? He's literally killing himself.
You talking about with the double cross lightsabers?
Yeah, she has the cross lightsabers.
I never understood that.
He's shooting the lightning. Now, in Revenge of the Sith, it works because he wants that to happen so he can use it as propaganda against the Jedi.
Right.
But why would he continue doing it when it's killing him in Rise of Skywalker? I know if I was shooting something and I knew it was going to come back at me, I would just not do that.
Right. And he should, like you said, he should have remembered back to Revenge of the Sith. He'd be like, oh man, remember when I did this and it like deformed my face?
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't do this again.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're sitting in front of a fan and you're spraying pepper spray in the fan. You know it's going to hit you. Why would you do that? Makes no sense. Palpatine kills himself in this fucking movie.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, some of the choices, the creative choices and direction that was chosen by JJ.
He seemed like he was rushed. He just like, hey, I'm gonna put this out. First thing pop up, yeah, that'd be cool. Let's go with that. That's what it looked like to me. Like
I think he felt like maybe he went into this and his back was, against the wall, with all.
But he didn't have to take the job though.
He did.
Well,
I guess he wants to stay relevant.
The only reason why I think he took the job was because everybody kept saying Force Awakens was just a rehash of A New Hope. So he came in going, well, let me try something different to prove it to himself. And I think he fucking made it worse.
I agree.
Force Awakens is so much better than this.
Oh, for sure. And the thing is, man, he already signed that $500 million deal
with Warner Brothers.
So he could have just been like, nah, I'm good. I'm going over to Warner Brothers. I'm going to do my thing and come out, go over there with like a semi-clean slate. Now he's going over there with baggage.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if I don't care what, dude, 58 on Rotten Tomatoes is not good.
No.
I think it's lower now. I think it went lower now.
Man, there's something up with Rotten Tomatoes because
I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes.
I seen Jeremy talk about the user score didn't go down.
Right. Yeah, the rating from the audience has not budged. And it's just a complete opposite with Last Jedi, man. I mean,
it's still at 86.
How? And what is the score from the critics?
The critics went down. It's at 55 now.
Yeah, see, that should be swapped, man. I don't understand. Like, I saw videos saying that the critics where the audience score hadn't budged within like 40,000 votes or something. It stayed exactly the same, not even 1 percentage point, man. And there's something going on over there, and I don't trust them. I think everybody should make their mind up themselves. But
I think they can be manipulated. I don't know how, but
yeah.
I never take much faith in Rotten Tomatoes.
No. Well, see, I don't go by Rotten Tomatoes anyway. Like nothing on Rotten Tomatoes ever makes me not want to go see a movie. If I already had plans to see the movie, the Rotten Tomatoes score isn't going to change my mind whether it's good or bad. Yeah. Like Justice League, when Justice League came out, it had a horrible Rotten Tomatoes score. But I was going to go see it regardless anyway. I don't care. I want to make up my own mind.
Justice League for the first time in live action, regardless of what.
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing with Captain Marvel. I mean, Brie said all that she had said, and the rating went uber low. Still, man, it was part of the MCU. If you're a fan, how are you not going to go see it?
That's right.
So
yeah.
And if you do this kind of YouTube channel, you got to go see it, whether you think it's crap or not.
And that's the only reason why I pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes is because I have a YouTube channel and it's just a topic for a video. Yeah. It's like, hey, what kind of score does it have? Because when the movie comes out, not everybody gets to go see it, with the press. So me talking about the Rotten Tomatoes score is, it's a video topic that I can do.
Absolutely.
So that's the only reason why I pay the Rotten Tomatoes. And I always say in every video, like my reviews and whatnot, like if you have plans on seeing it, don't take people's word for it. Just go see it if you want to go see it.
Yep.
You got to think yourself, man. Make your own mind up. Even with Star Wars, man. If you like Star Wars and it works for you, the sequel trilogy, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell anyone not to go see it.
Yeah. I think the sequel trilogy is just made for casual fans, man. Like I'm talking about like people that just show up to the movies and watch, like don't really pay attention to everything, and because I started up here with it. Like I love Force Awakens. I really enjoy Last Jedi a lot. Rise of Skywalker, man, I don't know, dude. I had to flip a coin on the day. There's some things I like in it, but overall, just
the sequels are kind of a business deal too, because it gets the actor they guarantee they're gonna get at least 3 years, 6 years of work. Basically, it's 2 years between each one. So I think that's kind of like a little bargaining chip too. If somebody really want, they say, okay, now we're gonna do it. This is a 3-year deal. So I think that's part of it too, but I think they may get away from that, all the flack they catching from the fans.
Well, I think we've discussed this before here on the channel that the whole idea of a trilogy is just dumb now. You
It
know,
is.
it's like old hat, man. You should
It
just
is.
focus on like one episode at a time, and then when it's time to connect it. But let's not force it.
That was the biggest problem with this new thing. They came out and said we're doing a new trilogy. Why did it have to be a trilogy? Why did it have to be a trilogy? Because now they had to force feed everything into episode 9. Because they said they were doing a trilogy. Why, if you couldn't get everything in, do an episode 10. No one would, like, honestly, I would not care. I'd rather have done right and you could continue to do it, you know? By them boxing them stuff, that's old way of thinking. That's back in the 70s and stuff like that. The only reason why the prequels was a trilogy was because the first movie started at 4. So the previous movies had to be 3 movies.
But even so, man, I mean, George Lucas took he did like a release every 3 years, for each of the movie in the trilogy. And I think Disney, starting out with Star Wars, just because you're Disney, man, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to take over a franchise like Star Wars and just bam, start knocking things out of the park.
Nope.
If they were going to do a film, they should have just done a one-off and just tested the waters and not commit to a trilogy.
I think Disney.
That's precisely what they should have done.
Yeah, the same star power and credibility when you see Marvel Studios.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lucasfilm doesn't have that.
And it should, man. It should be way above.
They had it.
Yeah.
It lost some of its power.
That's how George Lucas started. A New Hope was originally just called Star Wars because he just did one to see if it was successful. Then he was able to do the other one. He knew the prequels were going to be successful regardless because of Star Wars. So they should have done an episode 9. They should have came out and said, we're doing episode 7. Maybe have a game plan. If it was really successful, then you could continue it. But it should have been like a standalone condensed thing like A New Hope was. And to be honest with you, Phantom Menace is pretty much a standalone thing too.
It is.
You have your beginning, your middle, your end, and the celebration at the end. It's a standalone.
And he connects it. See, George had pretty much everything planned out before he went into production on the sequel trilogy. Now, the original trilogy, I've heard conflicting reports saying that he had the entire the entire outline kind of worked out, and I've heard other reports saying not so much. But the thing is, regardless of how that worked out, he still
had an idea.
Yeah, he still had an idea of where everything was going. And Disney didn't really have an inkling of an idea of how they were going to take this trilogy.
See, even when George Lucas did the OG trilogy, like you said, it was like conflicting reports, but like he had the idea. Like I know at one point Obi-Wan killed Darth Vader in his original script, and Leia wasn't related to Luke, but he had the premise of idea where he wanted to go with it, and then just the little nitpick things he tweaked as he went. Disney didn't have any idea of where they were going with this because nowhere did they even hint that Rey was a Palpatine in any of the other 2 movies.
Well, and if you go back to some of George Lucas's old interviews about what Star Wars is about, he would always say it's about family. It's about the family of Skywalker and what have you. And so Disney completely dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, the marketing material for Force Awakens, they did this. George Lucas was asking JJ questions. And it was like this quick commercial, and George Lucas was like, "Hey JJ, what happened to the grandkids of Luke and Leia?" And then JJ's like, "I don't know. You tell me. You're the creator." And that was it. So George Lucas wanted to do that. I honestly believe they might have not been Jason and Jaina or Ben like in the EU, but he would have done something similar to that,
and that would have been okay. It doesn't have to be like completely copied word for word from the EU, as long as they get the basics right. I think it would have been cool.
And this is how you can prove that JJ doesn't understand Star Wars. Why is Ben Solo named Ben Solo? Leia never called Obi-Wan Ben ever.
Yeah,
she always known him from Obi-Wan. She's like, you fought with my father in Clone Wars. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Only Luke called him Ben. That's why in the EU, his son is named Ben. Why would she name her son a guy that she never met before and she never called him Ben?
Did Han? I don't remember. Did Han even hear? No, he didn't hear Luke refer to him as Ben at all either. No, that was their initial meeting. Like old Ben Kenobi, and He's like, oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's a name I haven't heard in
when
years.
when they were on the ship, he might have heard that, but that's only rare.
Well, he said it to Leia. Luke said it to Leia when he first comes to rescue her. He's like, I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. I'm here with Ben. But again, she doesn't know him as Ben.
Nope.
So why would she pay? Like, usually when someone passes away and you name your kid after somebody, it's someone you're close to. She wasn't close to Obi-Wan. She didn't even know the guy.
No, it was Luke. They had the connection. Bennett or Obi-Wan is the one that trained Luke. Partially trained Luke. In the Force, and I mean, yeah, it just made no sense, man. And I think JJ may have understood Star Trek more than he understood Star Wars, and that's not saying a whole lot. At least he had the idea of creating the Kelvinverse.
Yeah.
So it's not going to jack with the original timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just man.
You can't do that with Star Wars. You
cannot.
Everybody.
There's way too much in Star Wars, more than Star Trek, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Trek fans aren't this crazy. I mean, Star Wars fans, some of them on a different level. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of Star Trek fans that don't like the current show, but I mean, they haven't been nearly as vocal as.
They're not as vocal. They're like quiet, angry nerds.
I think they're just happy to be getting something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Star Trek isn't as popular as anymore.
Yeah, but I think Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans are kind of like going up to each other, going, "Well, I see JJ fucked up your franchise too," because the last one, Into Darkness, the last one JJ did, that movie sucked balls.
You talking about the one with Idris Elba was the bad guy?
No, that was the third one. I like that one. No, I'm talking about the one where Doctor Strange was Khan.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like why is Khan white? Like, I did a whole timeline. It's impossible for Khan to turn white. Okay? Because when he went into ice was before the time reset. So he would still be frozen. He would still be okay. I'm not getting into Star Trek nerdom here, but I mean, regardless, he fucked it up.
He did, man. I mean, and he completely reversed the sacrifice that Spock made and gave it to Kirk.
Yes.
I mean, that
and didn't even let it stick.
No.
He did that's what Rise of Skywalker is fucking In the Darkness. How many fucking people died in this movie and they brought back 5 minutes later?
Yep.
It's like Emperor dead. Nope, he's still alive. Oh, Chewie's dead. No, he's still alive. Oh, C-3PO dead. No, he's still alive. Zori Bliss and Baba Frick is dead. No, they're still alive. Ben Solo died 3 times and came back.
It's crazy. It's like it was the ultimate like Jedi mind trick, Oh, you think they're dead? No, they're not dead. They're still alive.
It was starting to get like people were getting pissed off, man. It was like Jared comes in with a super chat. What was the sequel trilogy missing? Mara Jade. Enough said. I agree 100%. Agree 100%.
Mara Jade would have been awesome to see.
I had this whole plot worked out where they could have introduced her in The Last Jedi and Luke could have had a wife, and
why?
Rey was their kid, and after Kylo went to the dark side, killed Mara Jade, and Luke put her on Jakku to keep her safe and everything. It's like I spitball that in 5 minutes, and you got fucking people making hundreds of millions of dollars can't come up with this shit.
Well, Mara Jade was the Emperor's right hand at one time, wasn't she?
Yeah, but the thing is, you can do like Dave Filoni did and cherry pick.
Mm-hmm.
And not have to do exactly what Legends did. And like they could have made Mara Jade Luke's wife in this and then just take care of her backstory like in a Disney Plus show or something.
Yeah.
That
would have been cool, man. I would have been good with that. I thought when they initially announced Kerry Russell, I thought she was going to be Mara Jade. Even
so did I.
There was a significant age difference between her and Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
It would have still been cool to see Mara Jade. And I'm still holding out hopes to see, Mara Jade in like maybe a Disney Plus series.
Dave Filoni will be the one to do it if they do.
I agree with you because she's such a good character, man.
She is.
To explore that.
Yeah, she is. And she's a major fan favorite. Like I would say besides Thrawn, she's probably the second biggest fan favorite people want to see.
Yes. I would agree with that 100%.
I definitely want to see Thrawn on the big screen.
They could have mentioned Mara Jade right? And so they didn't even need to show her in the sequel trilogy. Just mention that Luke had a wife and she passed away, or Kylo killed her or something.
And that would maybe explained why he had locked himself away.
Yes. Instead of him going, the Force is this and blah blah blah. He just lost his wife. Of course he would be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It would make so much more sense, man.
If they would have just done that, I would have been completely fine with The Last Jedi.
Well, you need to
explain why he is the way he is.
Dude, I guarantee you Kathleen Kennedy doesn't even know who Mara Jade is.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Because she doesn't know they had source material.
I guarantee you that JJ and Rian Johnson probably don't know who she is.
No, I'm 100% agree with you on that one. 100% agree with you on that one. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Kevin Feige probably knows who she is, and that's sad.
Yeah. Kevin Feige knows. I bet you Jon Favreau knows who she is too.
Oh yeah, Filoni and Favreau, they know.
I guarantee you Favreau probably read the OG Thrawn trilogy.
Without a doubt.
I mean, if this dude's been writing scripts, for years, he read that. Valhalla Erison writes, the Mandalorian episode got me excited for what comes next. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. The Last Jedi. Would you all stop bashing The Last Jedi? Can we just bash the sequel trilogy as a whole now?
Yeah, as a whole. I mean, I think we've just been bashing The Last Jedi for so long.
I'm sorry. Rise of Skywalker is worse than Last Jedi. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't disagree, but I agree with you, man. I think overall, I mean, the fact that there is no connectivity in the sequel trilogy, I think overall we should be bashing the trilogy.
Yeah. Now it's time to. I think it started great and it just shit the bed as it went.
Yeah, man, I was legitimately excited when I went to go see The Force Awakens, and even after I left, I was like, man, that seems like a rehash of A New Hope. I was still looking forward to the next chapter. And when they released Rogue One, and before they did Last Jedi, I was like, oh man, that was really, really good. This next saga film is going to be badass.
Yeah. Rogue One was the best out of all the movies they've done.
I agree.
Because that is such a companion piece with The New Hope, man.
Yeah, like I don't know about you, but when I watch A New Hope now, I always want to watch Rogue One before that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas, going back to the sequel trilogy now, like Last Jedi, you might not like the decisions it made, but at least it made sense as a movie for that movie that it was telling. You might not like what it did, but it made sense. Where Rise of Skywalker was like here, there. Like nothing in that movie made sense.
John Campea said that they made some bold choices in Rise of Skywalker. Man, they made more bold choices in The Last Jedi than throughout this entire trilogy.
Yeah. Like what bold choice? Oh, she's a Palpatine. That's not a bold choice. That's a dumb choice.
That was a stupid choice, man. Come on.
That was like pulling something out of your ass because you heard the Mary Sue argument. So you're like, well, if we say she's a Palpatine, they can't say she's a Mary Sue. Instead of actually addressing the problem the right way, they just kind of use Palpatine as a scapegoat through the entire movie.
Yeah, and they opened, I mean, like in the beginning 20 minutes, man, they show her training with Leia for like 5 minutes, like, oh, we're going to, we're gonna, I mean, I think they tried to address some of the issues that people have had, but they didn't do it in a very good way.
Yeah. And another thing, if JJ wanted to bring a big bad back, right? Like if he didn't want Kylo to be the big bad, why didn't he just bring Snoke back?
Or you could have gone back, and gone into Sidious, man. Isn't Sidious the one that Palpatine was talking about? The one that was
Sidious is
Palpatine. That's right. No, the one before Palpatine.
Plagueis.
The one that was looking for.
A lot of people when Force Awakens came out, a lot of people thought Snoke was Plagueis.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could have easily gone to Plagueis, man, and you could have been like, oh well, he never did die. He actually did learn how to cheat death.
How much cooler would it have been instead of bringing back the Emperor back and not explaining how? By the way, if Kylo was doing his thing, and next thing you know, you just see Snoke pop up and be like, "What the fuck happened? Like, how are you still here?" And then he reveals himself as Plagueis, and that he brought himself back.
Yeah,
they knew how to do it.
he was the OG before Palpatine.
Yeah.
It would have made a lot of sense, man. Because especially it would have tied into the prequels. Be like, that whole scene where he's talking to Anakin about, possibly saving Padme.
Yeah.
He could have been like, yeah, man, I totally cheated death. Maybe not in those words, but it would have been such a cool tie-in, man. I would have that.
And that would have been the right way to connect all three trilogies if it was actually Plagueis who was really the puppet master, and not the Emperor.
Yes,
and because yes, he was cut in half in Last Jedi, but if he knows how to cheat death, he can come back again and will explain how to do it. And then it gives Kylo another choice, but to team up with Rey to take out Plagueis. And then he just die at the end trying to save Rey, so he gets redeemed and dies. That would have worked so much better than just bringing back the Emperor like that.
Because Plagueis would have proved to have been a bigger threat than anyone we've seen in any of these movies.
Yep.
And they wouldn't even really have to explain why he's kept himself secret. He could just, if you would just establish the fact that he's been pulling the strings behind the scenes this entire time, I could have completely rolled with that.
Yeah. And this movie, Rise of Skywalker, contradicts everything that has been established, because you look at the Last Jedi encyclopedia, it said that Snoke had multiple apprentices. Where's other apprentices at other than Kylo?
Yep.
It does nothing makes sense to what they already established. If they should have just brought him back instead of Palpatine for no apparent reason. I honestly think that was just a like get out of jail free card that they just try to throw out there.
I think they're panicking and they're like, "Oh man, how are we going to make people happy?" And
to
make people happy. Instead, it was just like, "Wait a minute." When I first heard Palpatine's voice in the trailer, I was like, "Oh man." I maybe it was just me, but I did not have a sense of excitement at all when I heard his voice. Man, this is going to undo everything.
To be honest with you, I was fine with it. I was excited when I heard it. I did my trailer reaction. I was super excited, but I just got done reading novels in the canon where Palpatine had all these contingency plans. So it would make sense that he could do that, but they don't address it in the movie at all.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the movies, it's hard. So the movies are for all Star Wars fans, they're not like deep canon. So your average moviegoer is not going to know these things, from the books. So they would have had to really gone into some backstory if they were going to do that.
But they could have just took like 3 lines and just briefly explain it, right? Like when Kylo's like, well, how, whatever, he's in this movie, he's just like, the pathways, the dark side, or ability to do whatever, whatever. He just recites the same Revenge of the Sith line, the dark side is the pathway to many abilities, whatever, right? All he had to do was say, I died.
Unnatural abilities.
Yeah. He's like, he could have just said, I died. And I learned how to bring myself back, and just like 3 sentences, just briefly explain it, and then we can move on. Or say, I had contingency plans, or have someone helping him go, my master had all kinds of contingency plans.
Yeah.
Or just make him a fucking clone, make Rey a clone,
I mean, dude, have you guys seen the it posted on Christmas Eve? It was the Kenobi fan film.
No, the Jamie Costa one?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I want to.
And it's like all of it, maybe 12 or 18 minutes, something like that. And I mean, they do more, mind you, it's not perfect, but they do more in that, for the fandom, like overall, like connecting. Well, that's something that we'd like to see than they've done in this entire trilogy.
Yeah.
And
he did a Han Solo one too.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things.
So much better than Solo. And there was things in Solo I liked. I liked Lando. I really liked Emilia Clarke, and I liked the reveal of Darth Maul. But you can't, if your main character, if you can't get behind him, then you can't get, he's your main character. I'm sorry, I don't see Han Solo when I see him.
I don't either.
No.
Valhalla Erickson said should have adapted the Thrawn trilogy. I agree. They should have adapted the original Thrawn trilogy. Of course, they would have had to change a little bit because the actors are older, but they could have done that, and they could have did the Legacy of the Force too. Like if they wanted to do the grandkid, it could have been, and they could have adapted the Thrawn trilogy. Thrawn could have came back from the unknown regions, and he's trying to get the grandkids of the Jedi and they could have done a whole bunch of different things, man.
There's so much they could have done, man. I mean, the source material is vast and deep.
Not if you ask Kathleen Kennedy.
Man, I say that I don't think that she's like legitimately even a casual Star Wars fan, like over the past 20 years, would have seen like a Star Wars novel, at least one.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't the biggest EU fan. I think I may have read 4 or 5 out of the hundreds of EU novels. But you know what? I pretty much know what happens in every one of those novels because I'm a fan. I do research and study. Like I didn't read the book that Chewie died in, but I can tell you exactly how he died. I didn't read how Leia's son Anakin died, but I can tell you exactly how he died because I'm invested in the Star Wars. So I look up how these things played out, right? I pretty much know everything that happens in the Legacy of the Force, and I never read any of those novels.
They should have just they should have had Luke turn to the dark side, and
I think in the EU he did at one time.
He did, and so like in the original poster for The Last Jedi, when you saw him in the clothes and the hood, I was like, oh man, he's gone dark, and he's going to be the villain in this, and this is going to be really cool. And instead, no, he's just like waste of space Luke Skywalker,
Well, not only that, but there was an interview, not so much an interview, but there was a show a few years back. It was like Dinner or something or whatever. And Kevin Smith and JJ and Mark Hamill were all on there. And they talked about Luke going to dark. Yeah. All 3 of them agreed on it. They didn't do it. I think JJ talks just to hear himself talk. Like he just talks out of his ass, I really do, because if he's a big a fan as he says he is, and he has this idea about Luke being dark and shit, and if you listen to Mark Hamill talk about JJ's pitch for Luke when they approached him for episode 7, they said it was like he was going to be in 7 and everything, and then when the script came, he's like, "Oh, I'm not even in this."
The last like 2 minutes of the film.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a reveal of him like lifting rocks and floating like Rey was in the beginning of this movie, and then Mark Hamill's like, when I got the script, it wasn't none of this. And then Rian Johnson came in and they completely redid everything. So yeah,
that's why I believe, man, there is like legit tension between Mark Hamill and Rian Johnson.
There is.
I just don't think Mark Hamill, dude, you can tell from Rise of Skywalker, Mark Hamill doesn't want to be there.
No.
You can tell by the way he's acting. He's straight Jennifer Lawrence, that shit.
Yep.
And he does not want to be there. Like
he was already contracted in, by the pitch that they gave him, and he signed up, and then he realized what they were doing to his character, and
he was contractually obligated to be in that movie.
He dropped so many hints, man. He dropped so many hints in interviews. And through so much shade, that
I think he was trying to get them to fire him. To be honest with you,
I think so. I think Disney probably just said, "Hey, man, you need to knock this shit off."
A lost opportunity, because who would know Luke Skywalker better than he would?
Aside from George Lucas, it would be Mark Hamill.
Yeah, or maybe Lawrence Kasdan.
Yeah, Lawrence Kasdan could have done it, and as long as he kept his son away from the script, I think it would have been.
Yeah, his son. I don't know about his son, man. I think his son's on some tweeter or something, man. He's smoking some shit. But yeah, those 3 are the 3 that probably knows that character the best.
Yep, I agree.
And yeah, and I think Mark Hamill, because he said after this movie, he's like, "Look, I'm done with Star Wars. Like, I don't want to do no more Star Wars." That's why I don't think we're gonna get like a Luke prequel series. Because I don't think he wants to come back. If anything, maybe recast, which I really don't want to see.
We don't need to see I feel the same way about Luke. Actually, more so about Luke than I did about Solo. We don't need to see this. We
Yeah.
picked up
Well,
Luke when he was young in Episode 4.
the thing is, there's 30-year gap between.
Well, I think we're going to see Luke in the Obi-Wan. I read that somewhere. But he's going to be like maybe 8 to 10 years old.
He's gonna
That's fine.
He's gonna be younger than that. He's gonna be 5.
Yeah, he'd be like 4 or 5, I think.
Because this takes place 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. He was born in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, so I'd be okay with that. Just seeing this little boy. It's not going to really affect anything.
What they need to do is do what the Clone Wars TV show did for Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then do like a cartoon that takes place between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, and just have a cartoon Luke. That way, you don't have to worry about Mark Hamill coming back.
Yeah,
and then they can do like the searching for the Jedi artifacts and stuff, like with Lors and Tech, and I guess Lando was with them too, from the way he said in that movie.
I'd be more forgiving of something like that.
Yeah, that way you don't have to recast, and Mark Hamill can actually come back and play the voice.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's an established voice actor, man. He could totally do that in his sleep.
And then you can like do the fall of Kylo and the rise of Snoke and fill in the gaps for Palpatine, bring in Mara Jade, bring Ezra in here, bring Thrawn. Like, that's the way to fucking do it. I have a feeling all the shows is what's gonna make Star Wars good. It's like the Disney Plus shows and the anime stuff. It's like, dude, they need to take a break with these movies before they until Kevin Feige or someone can take over, they need to just leave the movies alone.
I agree. As much as I love seeing Star Wars on the big screen, man, it's always been an event my entire life.
Yeah.
I want to feel excited again. And if they announced if this new movie comes out in 2022, man, I can't guarantee you how I'm going to feel at that point in time.
I'll tell you what. The only way I would be fucking excited if I see a fucking army of Sith fighting an army of fucking Jedi. That's the only way I'll be fucking excited.
Danny's laughing.
I was laughing at you, Shaun. You said it's been an event. You said you fell asleep 20 minutes, man.
Well, man, I did, but see, that's the thing. The first 2 movies of this trilogy have really diminished that whole event thing for me, and I really wasn't excited to go into the Rise of Skywalker because I was expecting more of the same crap.
See, Solo did that for me.
Yeah.
Solo did that for me, where it took the event away from it. There's no reason. Solo's like a straight-to-TV movie.
Easily, man. Easily.
Yeah.
That should have been a Disney.
I'm not arguing on that, but I wasn't bored with any of the last 3 Star Wars movies. It's just some things they did was my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But sit here and say that I wasn't excited or I didn't want to go see it, that would be totally untrue.
How many times you seen it, Danny?
What?
Rise of Skywalker.
Twice.
I was hoping you were going to say once, so I was going to be like, well, apparently you don't like it that much. but damn, you got me. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up because I got to get up at 5 a.m. Yeah. But thank you guys for joining me. Once again, I have Danny and Shaun's link in the description box below. So guys, go over there, click out on their channel and subscribe to them. I don't know how Mandalorian spoiler review went to Rise of Skywalker, but I mean, I guess it kind of goes with the future of Star Wars. So
they were so closely together.
It's so easy. When something's good, you really don't talk that much about it because it's good. Yeah. When you have something,
go ahead.
No, when you have something to complain about, you got more to complain about.
Yeah. The only negative thing I can say about Mandalorian is that it was too short.
Absolutely.
I would have loved to seen 13 episodes.
Oh, so we can get more episodes like 5 and 6?
No, but hopefully you get more like 7 and 8.
In season 2, man, I expect a lot of better story. I mean, not the story was bad overall, but
if I'm not mistaken, this last episode was 48 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was longer. Yeah, I see. If they do most of the episodes along that line, time wise, I'd be cool because they have more time to like go. Okay, this is how we left it, and this is where we're going. So they should have a clear idea of where they're going in season 2.
Yeah. I'll be fine with 8 episodes for season 2, but they have to be longer.
Yeah.
I don't want 13 episodes because a lot of those Netflix Marvel shows, like Jessica Jones and Daredevil, I like Daredevil as much as the next guy, but 13 episodes, man, there's some filler shit in that shit, man.
True.
I thought Daredevil was the best one out. I agree with you about Jessica Jones and Iron Fist.
No, Daredevil is good. I love Daredevil. I think it is the best one. But you go back and watch them, some of those episodes could be cut down to like 9 or 10 episodes. It doesn't need to be 12 or 13.
And the Punisher didn't even need to have his own series, man. That thing put me to sleep. I have still, yeah, I've still not finished it, man.
No. See, I kind of agree with Shaun. I like half of the season, like season 1. I liked half of it. Season 2, I liked half of it. It's like again, they make more episodes than than there has to be.
Yeah.
Well, did either one of y'all see season 2 of Luke Cage?
No,
I saw everything except for
I've only seen season 1 of Luke Cage and season 1 of Jessica Jones, and I didn't even watch Iron Fist.
You're not missing anything.
That's what I hear.
You're not missing on Iron Fist.
That's why I didn't watch it.
But Shaun, you didn't like season 2 of Luke Cage?
No, I liked it. I liked everything except for Iron Fist
was awesome.
Which one?
Bushmaster.
Man, I liked Luke Cage. When I heard Luke Cage got canceled, I was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, I can't believe that. Anyway, this last episode of Mandalorian was the best, in my opinion.
Taika Waititi's the man, but too bad he's gonna be busy. I hope they get him back for one. I
didn't think he could top Deborah Chow, but he did.
7 and 8, man. They were the best episodes of this entire season, and like we've said, if Deborah Chow can capture this magic and take it over to Obi-Wan Kenobi, man, I am on board already.
You know what they need to do? They need to take 7 and 8 and put that bitch in a theater. But put that in the theater for like a 1-week special.
A limited release would be cool.
Yep, that would be all. That's what they did with Game of Thrones a couple years ago. They put the season finale and the episode before that in theaters, and it made a lot of money, man. Instead of fucking wasting hundreds of millions of dollars on movies, dude, just put fucking Mandalorian in the theaters for a couple times.
Yep,
that'd be awesome.
It would. I
would either take the first 3 episodes or the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Because those are the 2 condensed story arcs right there, So, or since they're only 30 minutes, just put all 5 in there. That'd be about 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. Once again, guys, I have Shaun and Danny's YouTube link in the description box below. Be sure to click on that and subscribe to their channel. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You all have a good night.
Same to you, bro.
Peace out.